Well, happy holidays, everyone. It's Christy, and welcome to another Patron Hangout. We were having a bit of a discussion before we came on air, and in the tradition of Steve Shive's Hangouts, we're going to continue to do that. I guess there's a bit of an update. I don't have it up. I can get it up, but I posted in the group. I posted in the group that the Heather Hire receipt, which you guys have seen as proof that it went out, and then for the month of October for the Progressive Fund, there was a person, a YouTube person who had a financial crisis, and so I talked to you guys, and we made a contribution to that person to help them because they're coming up on the holiday season. And just before we went on air, talking about some financial struggles you're having with just getting a real basic part of life taken care of. And the group agreed that we'd like to help her out reach that goal as well. Sort of again, kind of a holiday thing of support. And also, thanks for being part of the group. Fund will go to help with that for the month of November, and then we're all caught up. So then December's will be something new, and we'll do that closer to the middle of December. Okay, so do you want to talk a little bit about the fund, Naito?
Yeah. I don't know. I was thinking because it's in my real name, so I don't want to.
Oh, right. So you know what? If people want to help,
maybe. So
yeah, you're struggling.
Yeah,
people can talk to me.
I need new teeth because I'm missing 4 at the moment. 4 molars, 3 molars, all at the same place, so I can't chew on my right side. And one top incisor, the one just in the front where, and I look like a hobo. So yeah, I need 750 euros. So that's I don't know in dollars, a tad more, just a bit more, maybe $800. I think it's. Let me Google it.
Well, that's okay. I think yes. So anyway, if you want to help out, if you've struggled or know someone who's struggled with problems like this and just or have that gap between what the service costs and what you have, then you can contact me and make a donation, and I can transfer that on because I know you, and then you don't have to.
I think I can change the GoFundMe.
We'll talk about it in the next.
Yeah, it's not important right now.
Right. So that was a little holiday. Well, we all have times when things are tough, and that's when friends help out. And to be quite honest, most of my Patreon money gets repurposed to other YouTubers I support by helping them out financially, and the charity fund. And the charity fund is there to help. So what we were also talking about, in the spirit of giving, Jonathan's, we got some random geeks here, and your recent donation and your lovely locks. So you want to talk a little bit?
Yes. So as people of the channel knows, and then people of I guess my channel or Troy's channel knows that I have a lot of crazy hats and stuff like that. But also you don't see me with the lovely locks out and stuff like that. I always keep it in a ponytail. And plus, I want people to look at the awesome hats that I have. I don't want people to be distracted by the lovely locks and stuff like that. But today I decided to have the locks out and stuff like that. And that's for the costume I am wearing, which I'm going to show right now. You see, if you know of DC, I am Aquaman, but it's because it goes with the awesome leggings.
Wow.
I
need those leggings in my life.
I got them from Amazon, so maybe they're available internationally. It was reasonably cheap for me, actually. It's less than $20 for these leggings, and yeah, I got several compliments for the leggings and stuff like that, and so yeah. But as we were talking, yeah, I have long hair. It's I just never cut it, but I did cut it once because my hair used to be all the way down to here, all the way down to the top of my thigh, and. But I finally decided to just take a pair of scissors and cut it because it takes 30 minutes to brush my hair when my hair was that long. I didn't want to sit down in front of my laptop to watch YouTube videos as I'm brushing my hair. I want to do other things with my hands. So I did cut it off. I still have it because I'm going to donate it. I should donate it soon. I did this months ago, but I have it here. I'm that lazy and that big of a procrastinator that I did cut it off and put it in a bag so I can donate for Lux for Love. I did it before too, so yeah.
Just a, I don't know if this is still true or what the deal was. My son had really long hair and cut it, and was going to donate it to Locks for Love, Locks of Love, whatever. And he did some digging and didn't like all that he saw. You mentioned that they make people pay for the wigs. I don't know if that was it or not. But he found another charity.
I heard that before too, yeah.
He found another charity that worked, that was more in line with what he thought it should be. So I don't know if you want to do any more digging or if you're pretty set
I
on
could do some more digging, yeah.
Either just an observation that I'm not going to be the one to talk about hair. That's not going to be my forte, my métier. But I did have that, and I don't know, just shop around.
We have in Buffalo, we have the Roswell Park Research Institute, which also does the same thing. My daughter used to donate to them. She started dyeing her hair, so she can't anymore. But I know they don't charge for any because it's all that stuff is donated to the children's wing.
Yeah.
And also I watched a hangout earlier this week with the Lonely Wolf and some random geek. Maybe Troy, yeah, you can start with that. How your hangout was. You've been doing a lot of streaming lately.
Yeah, I've had like because we had quite a bit of fun. The two of us. It was just like it's the gossip stuff because with the other streams that I'm on, like the like cancer podcasting is very kind of heavy like philosophical or whatever. But then it was good to get together for a bit of a gossip to compare turkey recipes and all that. And we were talking about this is my new makeover, my new channel avatar.
Oh,
I like it a lot too.
Yeah, tell us the story behind that.
Yeah, it's because like everyone on like all of my friends that I know from every group, and then I was in another live stream and somebody joined in and said, "Oh, are you a raccoon?" And it's because I drew glasses on a wolf. It was everyone mistook me for a raccoon, so I did a tutorial, so it was a YouTube tutorial on how to draw a furry wolf, and so I just tried to follow the instructions, and then I had all the colors in there, so like I tried to get it colored in, but so I decided to replace it with the monocle, so people knew that I'm still a wolf, but I don't get mistaken for a raccoon.
Monocle smile.
That's very chic. Go ahead,
Grandma, what a big eye you have.
The better to sort of see you with.
Yeah.
If you stand on one side.
Yeah, no, that was a fun chat we had and stuff like that. Talk about turkey, and as I mentioned on that chat, is like I'm actually mildly allergic to turkey. So for this past Thanksgiving, as well as like last year, our family did not do.
For people just to outside the United States, that he's not mentioning Erdogan and the Turkish government, the actual Thanksgiving turkey, just for the international members of the audience.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very true. We have to determine. When talking American, they think turkey, they think of white meat bird and stuff like that, poultry. But yeah, okay. So instead of having turkey, the food turkey, we have beef and stuff like that. But I figured it out. I just remember, like on the day before Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, not the correct Thanksgiving. Canada has the correct Thanksgiving. And that's, wait a minute, there is a way for me to have turkey on Thanksgiving. Wild turkey, in fact. Bourbon.
That's a turkey we can all enjoy.
Yes.
Well, most of us.
Most.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, thank you, Tom. many people can enjoy. Thank you for I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and Marianne and I are talking about she raised the issue of the Nuremberg Christmas markets, which are very famous. Well, I have to say, mostly I know of their fame from my local shop, Netto, which often sells the Nuremberg Glühwein in bottles, branded. But for people who don't know about the Christmas markets and why they're so famous there, do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, they're mostly on squares around the city. The Christmas market in Nuremberg is on the market square, and you can buy Christmas themed stuff there, like Christmas ornaments, all kinds of handcrafted things. In Nuremberg, you obviously get Lebkuchen and Glühwein.
Yum.
Is not my thing. I prefer Feuerzangenbowle. And yeah, I prefer to go very, very early, just when it opens up, because I don't deal well with crowds of people. But if you like this sort of thing, it's nice to go in the dark when there's lights, and there's usually often themed Christmas markets. So often there's a medieval one where I'm always amused to see potatoes in the medieval fair, which is a bit impossible because
yes, that was after the New World.
Yeah.
Was discovered.
Yeah. So if you want anything Christmas-like, you'll find it at the Christmas market in Germany. They're everywhere.
I'm really excited because the Christmas markets are opening on the 27th here in Cologne.
Yes.
But apparently, like some of them have started a little bit earlier, and usually they wrap up on the 23rd or the morning of the 24th. I think the 23rd though. But some keep going through the 6th, the Epiphany Day or whatever, January 6th, the next year. But yeah, they're not just, I mean, to tell maybe a funny story. When my dad came over and I was trying to get him excited about the Christmas markets and telling him, yeah, there's all these stalls you kind of go to. They're more like huts and you can buy things. And he had this idea it was going to be like, for those of you maybe in more rural areas will get this, like a cow palace at the county fair. So cow palace for people who don't live near dairy farms in rural areas. It's when you have a state fair or something, they usually have these big, they're basically kind of like a cross between a barn and a warehouse. You know, they're just big enclosed areas for events where you can bring big things in or whatever. And they're usually associated with like a county fair, and they're not very glamorous. They're just sort of cement on the floor and covering is an electric lights. So when you go to the Christmas markets, one, like I said, each sort of store is its own little hut decorated with evergreen and holly and maybe a sign with their name on it. And you can get lots of hot drinks, hot chocolates. You can add a little shot of amaretto to your hot chocolate if you want. You can get mulled wine, which is Glühwein. Glüh means to glow. So the idea is, you know, your cheeks get a bit rosy. They have also a version of a version of eggnog. But then they'll have smoked salmon, and they'll have bratwurst with a crusty roll, and you can get this potato kind of it's kind of like a hash brown, but they put dips on with it like applesauce, and you can get fresh made crepes with Nutella or just a little bit of cinnamon and sugar on top of this warm crepe that you get, and you wander around sort of from stall to stall looking at the wares and drinking your Glühwein or your hot chocolate and eating your crepe or maybe eating a brat, and it's a real experience to go out and just sort of wander through it. In fact, when you were talking about Marianne, the themes, we have in Cologne one that's sort of a kind of like a fairy tale theme. There's a lot of gnomes associated with it. And there's a big ice skating rink, which actually goes past a ski chalet. It's a 2-story temporary building that they put up for 4 weeks, where you can go inside and order glühwein or whatever else and stand there and look at people ice skating and stand on the second level watching the Christmas market go by. And then in 4 weeks, they dismantle it all and it disappears again. And so it becomes like this really magical time when, as you say, it's dark by 4:30, and then you meet some friends after work, and you just go for one glühwein, and you get some hot nuts, hot roasted nuts there at the market, and maybe you pick up a Christmas ornament that you like, or you see a scented soap for a member of your family, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful 4 weeks that you have to experience when it's there, because like other things in Germany and the celebrations, it's ephemeral. They don't do it all year round. It's just gone.
Now I'm trying to figure out why my daughter left Cologne to move to Cleveland.
Yeah, me too.
Christy Winter likes hot nuts.
Yeah, I like my nuts hot and my wine glowing. Yeah, gluing.
Oh man!
Someone mentioned that in the live chat, so I wanted to share that in here, and so that way, going to give credit to someone in the live chat.
All right, there we go.
Oh, and speaking of eggnog,
So that was my little.
Speaking of eggnog, I have my own recipe for eggnog. So you take your glass, and then you start with whiskey, pour the whiskey, and you drink the whiskey. That's my version of eggnog, as shared by Stephen Colbert on the Late Show. That's the only way I can drink eggnog. I'm allergic to eggs.
So is that
my brother? Vegan? Yeah.
Yes, vegan eggnog with wild turkey.
My brother
is not a paid promotion.
Growing up as a kid, he loved eggnog. We would get cartons of it. My mom would get it for him at the holidays, but of course, he never drank it mixed with booze, so it was always that really like thick, almost creamy, clunky kind of thickness to it, and it was way too overpowering for me. But I don't think he takes it with whiskey now, because he's just used to how it was as a kid.
I never heard of having it with whiskey until it became an adult, and then I saw Stephen Colbert did that on his show, and it's like, okay, now I can enjoy eggnog.
As Tom said, vegan eggnog.
Yes.
like a bird drawing?
Oh well, we got Lonely Wolf on the screen
With the bird. Hello, bird.
Oh.
Yes, that is
Birdie.
Dallas.
Yeah, so
Yeah, for those who, there you go.
there we go. So you can show off my new say hello to YouTube. This is Dallas. I don't know whether he's boy or girl. So he's still a baby, but I think it's a male. But it's I just have to wait for the molting. So he's very he's very friendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We as I shared on Troy's hangout, I also had a cockatiel as a pet. It was a gift to our mom and stuff like that. But it happened to be a female because a bit later on, she definitely laid eggs, which are duds. So that's one way to tell it's a female, I guess.
Can you say a little bit more about how long you've had? Is it Dulles or Dallas?
Yeah, it's I've only had him for about so it's so I named him after the Dallas Cowboys, but it's because it's hard to pick a gender neutral name for a pet that you don't know, because it's easy with the dog because
I heard Tom moan audibly in pain when you said that.
Well, it's just
Dallas Cowboys.
Could have named it Packer. Could have named it Packer.
Because you got to have a gender neutral name for that. So this has been, because the thing is, I've really missed having a companion thing. I've always had dogs and everything like that, and I've had the cockatiel before. I thought it's time to return back to the feathered type of companion.
Oh, well, he's lovely, assuming he's a he, based on your inferences. I think you said he was a bit more aggressive and outgoing and had more of the male tendencies, or what we associate stereotypically with testosterone.
Is that true that only males can talk?
Generally, yeah. There's a rare exception, but it's generally the males can talk, and they tend to be a bit more outgoing with the number of people, whereas the females, like, they get used to their owners, but they become very selective about who they sort of. They're a little bit more withdrawn.
And picky.
Yeah,
Picky.
like the bird that we had, it was a gift for a mom, and I told the story on the hangout we did, Troy and I did, and it's like my dad went to the pet store and went to the cage of the old cockatiels, and then he picked one of the cockatiels out of the group of cockatiels that came forward to him in the cage, while another group walked away, and you think, oh, these must be the friendly ones, so he picked one of them, and that would end up being Ginger, ended up being a gift for a mom on her birthday, and then it turns out that, like, afterwards, yeah, Ginger liked our dad and liked the rest of us, me and my brothers, but she didn't seem to like Mom that much. And so the theory that our dad had is like, oh, I must have picked one of the cocktails out of the group of cocktails that was handled by a male handler or something like that. So that's our theory, at least. But yeah, the cocktail Ginger was a gift for our mom, and she didn't like our mom.
That sucks.
Yeah.
My mom got a parrot a few years ago just to get back to
Chris.
her kids.
Chris, can you hit F5 and then rejoin us
Did
when
I-
you've reconnected? Yeah. And then tell us your story. Otherwise, it's too much like the Daleks.
F5, yeah.
The
For those of you
mantra.
who don't know, sometimes you have to
F5.
like hit F5 in order to refresh, and that removes the scratchiness in the audio.
Oh, okay.
Better.
Okay. My mom got a parrot a couple of years ago, a young parrot a couple of years ago. And my sister and I believe it's to get back at us because it will way outlive her. Neither one of us wants this thing. She taught it to just scream all the time.
How long do parrots live? What is their lifespan?
80, I think.
About 80.
Wow.
80 years old, I think. They live very, very old. That's why I'm never getting one. I don't want...
That is a commitment.
Yeah, and then they have to mourn for you. I think it's difficult because they form very deep bonds with their human. So it's not like a cat who will have forgotten you a week later. So
Well, right after,
if it doesn't,
I think
you,
right after he's done digesting you.
yeah, that's
I mean, you get.
that's where I was going
Well,
to.
that's done. Where's my next meal?
A cat's not a pet; it's a roommate.
Yeah, that's why I like cats actually.
Yeah, they're very self-contained.
Because the birds are almost like even more so clingy than dogs. Like they can be very like once they get used to their owner, they become very, very dedicated to them.
Yeah. And cockatiels only live about like 15 years, if I remember correctly. But like the cockatiel species is one that can be taught to like speak or mimic human voice and stuff like that, but it takes a lot of training and stuff like that. I've seen some cockatiels that are able to do it, but we never train our cockatiel to do that.
I'm scared of what mine's going to pick up if it learns how to talk.
You just remind me. Okay, it's a joke where it's like a guy just like brought home a parrot from like the pet store, but unfortunately the parrot came from like a pirate ship or a sailor ship and stuff like that. So it will say every curse word under the sun. Girl Scout cookies. Hi, what do you want some Girl Scout cookies? F your Girl Scout cookies. And then after the parrot drove away nuns, drove away Jehovah's Witnesses, drove away Mormons, drove away salesmen from the door. Finally, the guy started like, listen, you're going to stop saying those curse words or else I'm going to put you in a cage. Oh, yeah, F your stupid cage. Start flying around, start chasing the bird, chasing the parrot, trying to catch it and stuff like that. And then finally, the parrot somehow got into the freezer, and the guy's like, okay, you gotta close the freezer. Oh, yeah, I'm not letting you out until you stop cursing. Oh, fuck you and your stupid freezer and stuff like that. But then finally, the parrot went silent and stopped cursing, and the guy was afraid of the parrot being dead, so he opened the freezer, and the parrot just like calmly walked up to his shoulder and said, I'm very sorry for my behavior and what I've said. I'm going to change my behavior from now on and not curse anymore per your wishes. I just want to know one thing. What did the chicken do?
Oh shit!
What
Now I
does
want a
that do?
parrot. Now I want a parrot.
Hey, if a parrot like that can drive away like Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses, which are nice people, and I'm not disparaging them, but yeah, I'm an atheist. It's like, sorry, no, I don't want to hear about like the Church of Latter-day Saints. I'm sorry.
Oh, I love to hear them. I love to listen to those guys. I invite them in, and sit down, we talk. They've gotten to the Mormon Jehovah's Witnesses have gotten to the point where well, they haven't come around for a while, but when they did come around, I'd invite them in, and they'd say, "No, we'll stand out here on the porch. You know, we'll talk. You know, and oh, look at the time. We have to go. God bless you." I think it happened after they got into the whole. Are you going to go? Do you know where you're going to go after you die? And don't you want to go to heaven? And I said, hell no. Why would I want to go there? I would be bored shitless in an hour and a half.
I get tired of singing for 2 hours, so singing for eternity.
Sure. This fucking harp and this goddamn cloud. And,
yeah.
I think Mark Twain said it that like he would go for heaven for the accommodations, but he would go to hell for the company.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the idea of eternity is far more terrifying than non-existence. It's non-existence, you don't have to do anything. Like literally, it's all the work is done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where eternity, you gotta like, it never will end. Oh my gosh, that's a punishment.
Mark Twain also said that how do you put it? There were billions of years before I was born that I was completely comfortable, and I expect there will be billions of years after I'm gone that I will care just as much about as I did the one before. You know, so I don't see any point in being all that fussed about this. You know. I won't be around. I don't care.
Yes. And we are all sitting, we've got a lot of advantages in the century we were living in, the fact that we can communicate like this. We've all had terrible parts of our lives. We all had great parts of our lives. And you know what? When the ride is over, that's, who would want to be on a roller coaster forever that never stopped? Like you're going to get off and go, yeah, that was a thing I did, but that was enough.
Yeah. Yes. It always amazes me. I mean, we're sitting here on at least 3 continents, communicating without a lag, without a noticeable lag, anyway.
Yeah.
And I learned something new today, other than the parrot thing, which I think I'm gonna get a parrot now, because.
To torture your descendants.
They're good. Well, hell no. I want to make a commitment to something that is going to be around for 80 years, and that I will feel bad about leaving, so I will stay around until it dies.
Ah, there you go.
So I'll be into my 150s, and probably tired of life by that time, and when the bird dies, I'll be so happy that fucking thing's gone. I can go.
Okay,
I swore for you. Leto, are you pleased? Are you pleased now?
We got the. Yes, of course. That's always the best. That's the highlight of every Hangout.
I'm gonna share this I'm gonna share Joey Jojo in the live chat. You're awesome as always, because first thing he says like, holy crap, Christy turned into Christmas lights. And another thing
I am the Charlie Brown Christmas.
Okay, then he asked, maybe this is why you void your bowels when you die, because who wants to have to poop forever? As Queen put it, sort of. Yeah, attorney sucks, because as Queen sing, who wants to live forever?
Holy shit! That was bad, babe.
Yes, I know. I got my singing talents, and me and my brothers, we all got our singing talents from our dad. Unfortunately, I wasn't in musical, like I believe I mentioned on our hangout with Troy and I. I was in Unit. I was in our high school productions of A Fun Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. And I received explicit instructions from from the director, Jonathan, don't sing. Do not sing. And yeah, to be fair though, she knew my older brother because my older brother was in 5 of her plays and stuff like that. And yeah, he had the same talent for singing. And what we make up for the inability of carrying a tune, we make up for with exuberance and volume.
And whiskey.
Enthusiasm.
Why not both, though?
Probably both, yeah.
Whiskey and exuberance?
Okay, in high school I did not drink
I'm
whiskey.
talking about
whiskey
booze.
and
I can't
volume.
drink, for fuck's sake.
Oh, sorry.
I haven't
Don't worry,
taken
I'll
a
drink
drink
for you.
for, I don't know, 10 years maybe.
21 years, my sobriety's old enough to drink in this.
Congratulations on sobriety. That is an achievement, yes.
Yes.
32
Yeah.
years.
I am 4 months cigarette free.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay!
All this purity. Yes. You've got basically, the good side and the dark side of the force here. And I'm definitely on the dark side, sadly.
But there's also a neutral side, like the gray Jedis, which Gwendo Fear talked about on her channel, which is a good video because I never heard of like the gray Jedi things, and I was like, I'm a
Gwen
huge
is
Star Wars-
amazing anyway, so
Yes,
Is this
I love
neutral?
her.
Is this neutral good?
I guess so.
I have one too.
Tom is vaping. Get with it. Woohoo.
Well,
Nice.
I used to smoke, and I stopped and asked my doctor what would be the best way to quit. He said first way is to just quit. Second way is like with nicotine replacement, like the patch or something. And if you need to do something with your hands and to replace all that, you can vape. And I asked him about that. He said the only thing that he was aware of, health problem with vaping or health issue at all, was the nicotine in some vape things. And nicotine is a short-term raises blood pressure a little. And he said, I'm much happier with you vaping than smoking. So
Yeah,
I think
my doctor said the same.
so. I'm going ahead with on that theory.
How much milligrams are you on? Nicotine?
As much as I want.
No, the liquid you use, how many milligrams
I'm
per
sorry.
liter?
Tom's using that for cooking oil.
Yeah, I'm deep frying everything in vape juice. Well, I don't know what the grams per liter is, or grams per whatever, but it's 1.2% nicotine.
Okay, so 1.2 grams of nicotine per liter.
Well, if you must be European about it, yeah.
That's less than regular.
Yeah, but
doing
you
like this?
Americans really need to get on with the metric system. This is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, well,
My dad and I had this conversation today.
yeah.
Oh, Marianne, we can hear you breathe, by the way. Just so
It's
Okay.
I think the metric system is the official system in the U.S., or at least there's a law saying that that's what we are.
You're the
that's what we
only
are.
country in the world that doesn't use it.
I know we don't use it, but I think it's official that we should.
which Jimmy Carter put it in. Reagan
was-
said they weren't going to enforce it, so that was that. We're both old enough for that.
Oh yeah.
Because I already had to learn your stupid language, and now I have to learn your stupid system for measurements to talk with people. So your Fahrenheit scale
we
is
got them from
so stupid.
we got them from the UK, and the UK doesn't even use it anymore. They use the metric. So
Yeah.
like literally the only.
Yeah, we use imperial measures, and
Yeah, we do.
and we specifically said, "Fuck you" to the Imperium.
Except
And
for
yet
the
Bill
Sorry,
measurement.
Benjamin.
And Bill Nye said, "Come on, we used to, but science to say it's like a meter system, because in science we use a metric system like every other civilized country in the world."
Yep.
Bill Nye,
Actually,
the science guy.
I read something very funny on the Fahrenheit scale. I read that the 0 and the 100 are completely random. It's like some bullshit, like the temperature of his horse's ass or something like that. It's not that, but it's something
Yeah,
like
one
that.
is supposed to be the what they thought the body temperature was, but it was off by a few
Yeah.
degrees. And
Right,
the other
right.
one, like, and he didn't take freezing. He took some other temperature, like
Yeah,
so it's
because your
negative
0 is
32.
not the freezing temperature. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 32 degrees from Wisconsin. I know exactly how.
I think
cold it gets.
Oh yeah.
32
Any
degrees
temp-
Fahrenheit is 0 degrees centigrade.
Yes.
Okay, it's good to know.
And Fahrenheit was set at the freezing point of seawater, or of water of a certain salinity. I think that was it.
For Celsius? Or at
Centigrade.
sea level.
No. For Fahrenheit, 0
Oh.
Fahrenheit. That
Oh.
would make it 32 Fahrenheit for freezing, plain water, fresh water.
Joey Joe in the live chat said 0 is the temperature equal amount of ice and salt. I think he means Fahrenheit, but I don't know. So
he's
maybe that
basically
was
replicating
Yeah, because
saline.
0
saline.
centigrade is fresh water,
true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
100 is when it boils at sea level.
Oh yeah.
Because
that's
we
right.
all
That
use
was-
salt water so often, it's really important for us to we have so much salty water around us that we have to know when it freezes rather than regular water we walk on in the streets in puddles.
Well, I think the Fahrenheit scale wasn't that developed in Britain.
Which is an
Fahrenheit's
island,
a
so
German
maybe
name.
that makes sense.
Well, I mean,
Well,
Fahrenheit. The name is Britain. The name is German, but
Yeah, actually, there was someone who I think Things I Just Learned or whatever did something on the Fahrenheit scale that I watched recently, but I don't remember all the facts because
yeah.
I'm not a science nerd. I'm a social science nerd.
When I see people measuring stuff with a ruler with inches, I'm getting crazy. I measure, when I craft shit, I measure everything at the half a millimeter. This is my standard. How do you deal with the fucking inches?
We just memorize it, I guess. It's
Because half a
repetition,
millimeter
repetition.
has to be like 1/32, 30 seconds of
Well, I know. Well,
of
I
an
know
inch,
for me,
something
I
like
know
that.
a foot is I think a foot, like 12 inches, is about the length from my elbow to my wrist, and my
Yes,
thumb.
actually.
Is,
Yeah, it's almost
part of my
30
thumb
centimeters.
that's about an inch wide. So if you can use your body parts, which feet actually comes from like the stride. So
Yeah,
it
but
is
I'm
linked
5'1", so I'm pretty sure my arm doesn't measure a foot.
Well, you did it 5 times, and then you added your thumb width. Then maybe
Yeah, or use a ruler.
or use a ruler.
I think Americans like just like it was beaten into us of like the rules of 12 inches and stuff like that, and how the system works. Or like in Catholic school, it's like that's not how you use the grammar.
It was
And also-
speaking to us with a ruler.
American
Yes.
football field is 100 yards, right? So you get a sense of what a yard looks like based on
Mhm.
watching a lot of football. So you're
I have
exposed to it in that way.
no idea what a yard is compared to meters.
It's 3 feet, isn't it?
I know
Yeah,
a
yeah,
mile
3
is a little bigger than a kilometer.
A mile. Yeah.
It's 1.6
Well, a 5K
It's
is
like-
about
kilometers.
a
I think.
5K is about 3 miles, right?
Yes, a 5K is about 3.1 miles. Yeah, and a mile is 5,280 feet.
Mhm.
For no damn
So
reason.
yeah, almost
Yeah.
1 kilometer and 600 meters.
Yeah.
And
if you
a
got-
French football, a European football field is 100 meters.
Mhm. Yeah, I think a meter is about 36 inches. It's a little longer than a yard.
Yeah, so a
Um,
football pitch is slightly wider and longer than an American. Well, it's more wide and longer than an American football field because our
Right.
pitch is narrower.
It's 39.37 inches.
Jojo,
100 meters.
Okay.
Jojo
Okay.
in the live chat says that a yard is exactly 0.9144 meters. So yeah, a yard is close, about like 9/10 of a meter or something like that. Thank you, Jojo. You're awesome.
Yeah, but every single one of your measurements is almost one of ours. Like an inch is almost 2.5 centimeters, is 2.54 centimeters.
Right.
A yard is almost 1.5 kilometer. It's always almost.
Anytime somebody gives me trouble with this, or gives me why should we go to meters and stuff? I said, because I don't want to keep measuring stuff by some dead king's body parts.
Good
Yeah.
point.
And
Yeah, we got
also,
rid of
you're
the
the
monarchy.
only one in the world who does that.
Yeah, and it created problems. Hubble.
Australia too, but Australia is on the metric system too. I learned about that like last week.
We haven't even gone
Expert
into
here.
like ounces either.
We have an expert here on Australian measurements.
Yes. Yes, I don't understand any other measurements. Like it's kind of like, so everything's in tens and hundreds, thousands, and it's like, why doesn't everybody do it?
Yeah.
But I'm just being snobby though.
Because, well, you're being the majority. America's being the snob. You know, we're
Yeah,
We're
and we
seeing-
accuse the French of arrogance.
I mean,
well,
we-
for good reason.
Leave us your
Arrogance,
our arrogance, please. It's all we have. Okay.
And cheese.
But something, I mean,
And the Eiffel
'cause I'm
Tower.
in the southeast. I'm in Brisbane, southeast Queensland. But the minute you go south from there, so that's when you start going to like Sydney and then Melbourne south of that. That's where people start getting just batshit crazy. I mean, I know Citation. I know the Real Housewives of Melbourne and Sydney. Like, yeah, I'm thinking, I don't want to travel any further south than where I am now because they just get madder.
You know, that's interesting because I think if I were to go to where do you live? Australia. God, I'm so, no, that was me. That was me.
Austria, Australia, one of those A names.
I just
Not
no,
America.
I just okay. Pull an age card. I had a senior moment.
Is that better than American indifference to the rest of the world? I don't know.
Oh my God, Chris's laugh is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if I were in Australia, though, I'd be the reverse, because as I understand it, Queensland is Australia's South. Australia's American South.
Yeah, kind of. It's such a large expanse though, because it's a very big landmass. So like I'm on the very south end of Queensland, so it's
right, exactly.
I mean, it obviously still is hot, but then when you move like north, where I was living, it's Cairns, like it's up north, like north of Queensland. That's where it's like Florida, where we have like hurricanes, and it's almost very similar to what
Where's
Florida.
your
It's not that different
rainforest?
from Florida.
I have forgotten. In the north, no?
And yeah, I think that people mistake. A lot of people don't really, because when I'm on sort of live stream with somebody and somebody joins in, they think, "Oh, are you a British guy or something?" Because the reason why is my accent is a little. It's not distinctly Australian. It is, but it's
not
weak.
British.
It's not a weak accent, so some people assume that I might be British or something like that if they have an American, if they're American.
I thought you were a New Zealander.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of your accent.
It's yeah, because if you listen to somebody who's very, because I think if it's someone like Bering with a very, because he's that's a strong accent. Like you know that's Australian, whereas me, it's not as strong.
It sounds a little like Garrett's accent. Yours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a very strong New Zealand accent. Same with Michael Rowlands. Now Tim Blake, he's got a very weak New Zealand accent.
Okay, I did not know Tim was not American until I don't know, super late, because he doesn't have an accent.
No,
Yeah,
it's
Tim's
not.
accent's
It's
very-
not
Not to my
strong.
French ear, anyway.
Not to my ear either, and I'm American.
Okay, that's not just me.
Often, like, think Tim could be, like, he should be American because he already sounds American, and he's got all of the lefty politics down for the kind of demographic of people he'd hang out with. So yeah, he should just make the step over.
I just want to mention that, like, I'm American. I live in Washington State my whole life, but yet for some reason other people, this has happened to me like over the course of my life like 3 or 4 times. Hey, where are you from? And I say here. No, I mean where you're from originally. Originally from Washington State, the lower South King County area, something like that. Oh, so I thought you had an accent, and I was like, why do people think I have an accent?
Like with your accent.
And I think, but someone's actually got a great theory. It's because like America is kind of like a big boiling pot or melting pot. A lot of different people come from a lot of different places, something like that. Is people just assume that like I have an accent. So
I'm from New York. No,
Go ahead. Go, Chris. Go ahead.
I'm from New York City area, and I'm live in Buffalo now. So I'm more Canadian than I am New Yorker, and so it's all the same thing, the same accent as they used to have, except with an A at the end. It was supposed to work. It just didn't. Not all my jokes work. I have to rewrite them sometimes.
What do you try?
And then Canadian. I mean, sorry, in Canada, it's like every like I don't know, the language gets so interrupted by apologies.
Yes.
It's like yeah.
It's Cody who really has a Canadian accent, like the parody of the hardcore skeptic. He has like a parody Canadian accent with the A at the end of the sentences and all. It's pretty funny to listen. It's the first time I hear a Canadian accent is with Cody from the hardcore skeptic.
Yeah.
Any of the old people here remember Bob and Doug McKenzie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're not old, Christy. Shut up.
Oh yeah, I am. I'm middle-aged. I embrace that. That's fine.
Yeah, you have to. You are 2 years older than me, so shut up, please.
So you're not offended for me. You're offended on you. That's fine.
Yes. I'm 37.
Oh, you're still a baby.
Oh, mere pup.
Yeah, really.
The older you get, the more you can call people who are clearly adults youngins. That's the rule.
Yeah, I have pride of place here. I like that. I can look down on all of you from my lofty perch of years.
I have friends who are older than you, Tom.
No, you don't.
Yes, one is slightly younger, and another one is slightly older. He's an amazing guy, actually. He's a Native American Canadian anarchist, and he's so badass. And he's 69.
Cool.
So I have a question for Mariana. Do you have a local dialect that you speak in, or do you use Hochdeutsch, or do you use both? And could you, if you do use both, can you demonstrate the difference between the accents?
Well, the accent I grew up speaking, well, we call it dialect because it's more than an accent. So it doesn't really distinguish much between the hard and soft consonants like T and D. So they're, for outsiders, they sound basically the same.
Well, can you do a little, like, you know, little famous phrase from German poetry or something in the accent and then in Hochdeutsch, and see if we can hear the difference?
Well, the test for what's the, for the of the if one is a native speaker of the dialect I speak, is a certain phrase. It's basically, do we need plates, or will bowls do? In script German would be, brauchen wir Teller oder gehen Schalen alleine auch? And if I say it in Corinthian, which is my dialect, is, brauchen wir Teller oder gehen Schalen alleine? So,
wow, you sound much
What
closer
the
to
fuck?
Dutch.
which is funny because I'm on the complete other side of the German language region, the deepest south, and about 1/3 of the vocabulary of my dialect is German, 1/3 is Italian, and 1/3 is Slovenian.
Whoa,
So
that's a really interesting mix for the region. That makes a lot of sense, but the softerness to me was more like a northern Scandinavian kind of thing.
Are you close to Switzerland, Mariana?
Switzerland is a few mountains and valleys away.
Okay, I was wondering because of the Italian.
I'm currently is the 3-country thing. So there's Italy, Austria, and Slovenia, and in German it's called Dreiländereck. And it's a Bajuwarisch dialect as opposed to Swiss German, and is Alemannisch. So
wait, Swiss German is not plain German?
No, Swiss German is.
I didn't know that.
Yes, Swiss German is not plain German. It's funny because when Swiss tourist group walk around Germany, they tend to talk about whatever they want to talk about, and because they think no one can understand them, they are wrong. Because if you have a bit of an ear for dialects, can understand Swiss German perfectly fine, especially if you have experience with dialects from Baden-Württemberg and Vorarlberg. And now I live in Franconia, which is with pronunciation similar to Corinthian, so the same soft consonants. So yeah, that's, and well, if I talk to my parents on the phone and a colleague at work hears me, They often go, "What language were you speaking?" Well, German, of course. That was German? Yes, that was German.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
that's
we're
fun.
actually gonna.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, we're going to close it up here because
Yeah.
actually Steve's Hangout is starting and a bunch of people are going to head over to that. Actually, I think Jonathan already did. So yeah, we're gonna all. I would recommend for those of you who are patrons of Steve, like a couple of people here, we should all go bung into Steve's Hangout now and crash it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Take it
let's-
over.
Yeah, basically.
This
And
is Chris's hangout now. Well,
yeah,
before
we're going to extend it.
The
before
snowflakes
terrible
are in the
floods.
place.
So yeah, head over to Steve Shive's channel, and we're going to be back. We'll talk about another December hangout before the Christmas holidays. And thank you guys for joining. Thanks for your support again. Also, thanks for your help that makes the Resistance Fund possible. And until next time, I've been Christy. You guys have been awesome watching this, and my patrons, of course, are always awesome. So goodbye from me, and goodbye from my patrons. Say goodbye, patrons.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.